In a world teeming with dread and peril, where monstrosities lurk in the shadows of vast ancient forests and the deepest crevices of treacherous mountains, the figure of the Witcher stands as humanity's unwavering shield. These solitary warriors, forged through an arcane and perilous metamorphosis, are the subjects of awe and fear alike. The genesis of a Witcher begins not on the battlefield, but within the secretive walls of various Witcher schools scattered across the continent. Here, human children are shaped into the ultimate defenders against darkness through a process known as the Witcher Trials. The Witcher Trials are an ancient practice, enveloped in mystery and steeped in a history as tumultuous as the lands the Witchers vow to protect. This transformational journey from mere mortal to a being of enhanced physical and mental prowess is brutal, a path littered with those who could not withstand its rigours. At its core, the purpose of these trials is to endow Witcher apprentices with superhuman abilities, necessary to combat the ghastly creatures that prey upon humanity. The initiation into this life begins early. Children, barely 10 summers old, are introduced to a regimen of relentless physical conditioning and combat training. However, physical training is but a prelude to the true horror of the trials, a series of biochemical and magical interventions known as the Trial of the Grasses. During this infamous trial, candidates are subjected to a concoction of mutagenic alchemical substances that rewrite their very physiology. These substances, colloquially termed the grasses, push the human body into evolving past its natural limitations, granting abilities like enhanced reflexes, superior strength, and the infamous cat-like eyes that allow Witchers to see in almost complete darkness. Yet, the trials are more than a mere transformation. They are a rite of passage, a crucible that burns away the frailties of human flesh and spirit, leaving behind a creature attuned to the balance of nature and the chaos of combat. As these apprentices endure the harrowing processes, they learn not only to master their own new abilities, but also to suppress the emotions that might otherwise cloud their judgment during the hunt. The culture and traditions surrounding the trials are as varied as the schools themselves. From the harsh militaristic regimen of the School of the Wolf, to the more cunning and agile practices of the School of the Cat. Each school moulds its initiates according to its philosophy and specialised needs. This diversity in training and initiation rites contributes to the unique characteristics and abilities of Witchers across different regions. Witchers, through their trials and tribulations, emerge not merely as monster slayers, but as symbols of a necessary evil, beings created by humans to defend against threats too terrifying for ordinary folk to face. The primary tool of any Witcher is their sword, one steel for humans and one silver for monsters. Training with these weapons begins almost immediately upon entering the school. Young apprentices spend countless hours under the watchful eyes of seasoned masters, learning the art of swordplay. This is not merely about learning to swing a blade. It involves mastering the precision required to exploit the weak points of various foes, understanding the balance and weight of the weapon, and integrating it seamlessly into their natural movements. Drills are relentless, often extending from dawn till dusk, and are designed to build muscle memory and reflexes that can mean the difference between life and death in real combat. Witchers are not powerful sorcerers, but they do utilise a simpler form of magic known as signs. These magical gestures require intense concentration and precise execution to be effective. Apprentices are taught to harness the elemental energies around them to cast these signs, each serving a strategic purpose in battle. For example, the Sign of Art can knock back opponents with a forceful blast of telekinetic energy, while the Sign of Quen provides a temporary protective shield. Mastery of these signs is essential, as they often provide Witchers with critical advantages in the multitude of scenarios they encounter. Intellect is as vital as physical prowess in the making of a Witcher. Apprentices must become scholars of the dark, studying the vast array of creatures that populate their world. Each monster presents unique challenges, thus understanding their behaviours, weaknesses and habitats is crucial. This training also involves learning to track and hunt these creatures, from deciphering tracks and signs in their environment to predicting their behaviour. Knowledge gained here can turn a potentially deadly encounter into a manageable one. The craft of alchemy is integral to a Witcher's survival. During their training, apprentices learn to concoct a variety of potions, oils, and bombs that enhance physical and mental faculties, heal injuries, or augment their weaponry to be more effective against supernatural foes. Ingredients for these concoctions are often rare and dangerous to procure. Thus, apprentices are also taught the basics of herbology and the gathering of these components under adverse conditions. This initial period of training is as much about skill acquisition as it is about instilling discipline and resilience. The life of a witcher is solitary and fraught with peril. As such, apprentices are taught to be self-reliant, resourceful, and decisive. The emotional and psychological fortitude developed during these early years is essential, as the mind must be as sharp as the blade they wield. With their bodies and minds thus prepared, apprentices face the first of their major trials, the infamous trial of the grasses. This transformative ordeal is where many will falter, but for those who survive, the path to becoming a true witcher awaits. The trial of the grasses represents the zenith of the transformation process into a witcher, marking a brutal rite of passage that few can endure. This trial is both feared and revered, for it is during this time that an apprentice either emerges as a newly minted witcher or succumbs to the overwhelming ordeal. The trial of the grasses is not merely a test of physical endurance, but a profound alchemical and magical intervention that redefines the very essence of the being subjected to it. The process begins with the administration of the grasses, a term that encompasses a variety of alchemical concoctions comprised of mutagenic herbs, monster tissue, and other arcane ingredients. These substances are highly toxic and potent, designed to trigger a series of mutations within the body. The concoctions are administered through ingestion and a series of painful injections that disperse the mutagens throughout the body. As the mutagens take effect, the apprentice's body undergoes excruciating transformations. Their bones may crack and realign, muscle fibers densify and expand, and even the sensory organs mutate to enhance perception. The eyes, in particular, undergo significant change, adapting to allow witchers to see in near total darkness, a trait symbolised by their distinctly cat-like appearance. However, the physical mutations are just one aspect of the trial. The mental and emotional resilience of the apprentice is also severely tested. As the body fights the invasive mutagens, the mind experiences heightened states of stress and pain that can push an individual to the brink of madness. It is during this time that the mental conditioning and discipline instilled during the initial training are put to the test. Apprentices must employ every mental technique they've learned to maintain their sanity and focus through the torment. The survival rate for the trial of grasses is dismally low, with only about 3 in 10 apprentices making it through alive. Those who do survive often spend weeks or even months recovering. During this period, their bodies must adapt to their new capabilities, and they must learn to cope with the enhanced senses and physical changes. The ordeal is not without its lasting marks, but physical and psychological scars are common amongst those who endure. The trial of the grasses is a transformative process that marks the birth of a witcher. Those who survive are no longer merely human, they are a breed apart, specifically engineered to combat the most fearsome monsters that threaten human existence. With enhanced strength, agility, endurance, and sensory abilities, witchers are uniquely equipped for their role as protectors and hunters. The successful completion of the trial of the grasses is celebrated with a solemn ceremony where the new witchers are presented with their medallion, a symbol of the profession and their survival. This medallion is not just a badge of honour, it serves as a sensor, vibrating in the presence of magic and monsters, an essential tool in their continued battle against the dark. Having survived the harrowing trial of the grasses, those few who remain are not yet full witchers. They must face further trials, each designed to test different aspects of their abilities and to hone specific skills crucial for their survival and effectiveness as monster hunters. These subsequent trials, including the Trial of Dreams and the Trial of the Mountains, serve not only to further enhance the witcher's capabilities, but also to solidify their mental and emotional resilience. The Trial of the Dreams involved the mutation of the eyes, bone marrow, and hormones, and allowed for better night vision among other benefits. It also resulted in infertility. It consists of druidic ritual involving incense, chanting, and inducing a trance, which, on rare occasions, such as with sources or children with magical potential, the trainee will temporarily serve as a conduit for a supernatural force. They may reveal the past, the present, the future, or other things in another voice. When the trainee awakes from the trance, the mutation is complete. The Trial of the Mountains, much better known to wolf witchers as the Trial of the Medallion, serves as an exam intended to verify what the adepts remembered from the previous stages of training. Would-be wolves needed to swim across a pond near Caer Morhen, get through caverns inhabited by an old cyclops called Old Speartip without waking him up, then climb Troll's Head, deal with its mistrustful rock trolls, and get to a circle of elements. After activating their medallion at the circle, the trial was complete. All this was done in groups, as mentors believed that even though witchers were lone hunters, they could still benefit from cooperation. The Trial of the Sword, although lesser known compared to its infamous counterparts like the Trial of the Grasses, is a formidable challenge in its own right and unique to certain witcher schools. This trial focuses intensely on the mastery of swordplay, not merely as a form of combat, but as an art that embodies the witcher's prowess and tactical acumen. During this trial, the apprentice must face a series of combat scenarios that increase in difficulty, often against multiple opponents or in environments that disadvantage the usual fighting style. The purpose is to push the witcher's skills to the limit, fostering adaptability, precision, and efficiency with their blade. Each scenario is designed to replicate real-world challenges a witcher might face, from fighting in the cramped quarters of a village tavern to defending against a swarm of lesser monsters in the dark woods. The Trial of the Sword also serves as a mental and ethical gauge, testing the witcher's judgment in combat situations. Apprentices are sometimes placed in morally complex scenarios where the decision to draw the sword must be weighed against potential consequences. This trial, by honing both the mind and the body, ensures that the witcher is truly ready to take on the manifold terrors that await, armed with nothing but his sword and his wits. The Witcher schools scattered across the continent each possess their own unique philosophies, training methodologies, and trial variations, which reflect their specialised approaches to monster hunting. Each school tailors its curriculum not only to the types of monsters prevalent in their region, but also to the values and battle techniques they wish to emphasise. This divergence results in witchers with distinct skills and attributes, suited to different styles of combat and magical expertise. The School of the Wolf, perhaps the most renowned among the Witcher schools, is known for producing balanced and versatile witchers. These witchers are trained to handle a wide range of situations, combining robust physical training with a strong emphasis on tactical thinking and adaptability. Their trials often focus on endurance and resilience, reflecting their preparedness for any threat. The final trial for the Wolf School might involve tracking and neutralising a dangerous beast across varied terrains, testing their comprehensive skills in combat, alchemy, and survival. In contrast, the School of the Cat specialises in agility and stealth, producing witchers who excel in assassination and quick, precise strikes. Witchers from this school are often more independent and less bound by the strict codes that guide other schools. Their training heavily emphasises speed and dexterity, with final trials that might involve infiltrating a heavily guarded fortress, or eliminating a specific target without raising any alarms. This school's approach to the trials often mirrors the cunning and elusive nature of the felines they are named after. The School of the Bear focuses on brute strength and durability, training witchers to take down some of the largest and most formidable monsters. Their training regimen emphasises heavy weaponry and strong defensive tactics, preparing them to stand their ground against overwhelming odds. The final trials for Bear School witchers typically involve surviving encounters with multiple opponents or overpowering particularly tough creatures, testing their physical prowess and fortitude. The School of the Griffin integrates a deeper study of magic into their training, creating witchers who are often more adept at using signs and crafting powerful magical items. Their approach includes a more scholarly aspect, with a strong emphasis on strategic planning and magical theory. The final trials for a Griffin Witcher might involve complex magical tasks, such as dispelling curses or binding powerful spirits, requiring a keen understanding of arcane knowledge. Lastly, the School of the Viper, known for their secretive and deadly methods, focus on poison and toxins. Viper witchers are trained in the art of assassination, using venomous concoctions, and are adept at quick, lethal strikes that incapacitate their enemies swiftly. Their trials might involve crafting a unique toxin to neutralize a specific type of monster, emphasizing their specialized knowledge in toxins and their effects. These variations ensure that no two witchers are exactly alike, with each school imprinting its philosophies and expertise onto its trainees. The diversity among the schools allows for a broader defense against the myriad of supernatural threats that plague the continent, ensuring that no matter the monster, there is likely a witcher uniquely suited to combat it. Thinking about what it would take to become a witcher is pretty eye-opening. It's clear that the tough training and challenges would be a lot to handle, but it also shows how strong and adaptable witchers have to be. Do you think you have what it takes to become a witcher? If you enjoyed this video and love all things Witcher, why not check out the channel's merch, which is available now through the tab on our homepage. There's some sweet t-shirts up for grabs, so head on over and take a look. And as always, thanks for watching.